G'day everyone, welcome back for the next instalment of working through this Victorian Gentleman's travel wallet. We are going to work on today adding some decoration ephemera to this part. And what I thought we might do is use, now these, I will open transparency, these are the AliExpress knockoffs. I didn't realise at the time, but they are the AliExpress knockoffs of the Tim Holtz Chapter 6 specimen die cuts, and I've got the slide and the mini file folder. But I've already made them, so I've used them to cut this out. And in Australia, we don't get the fancy file folder with the tabby bit that you guys get, well, some of you guys get in the US. So have to make our own. I've got it turned over because as a teacher, I get lots of these, but they have ex-students' names on it, so I have to be mindful of that. So I'm actually going to use that, and I've already cut out some of the mini file folders as well as the slides. But then I thought, not everyone, and there's a reason why I got the AliExpress one, is, you know, they're way cheaper. Not everyone can afford the Tim Holtz versions of these. So I thought, well, instead of just showing you this, let's see if we can recreate it with stuff that we might have. So that's what I thought I'm going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is find out how big these are. So that might be a good start. I'm going to line it up, hopefully on a straight edge. Let's try, maybe I should straighten it up. What I'm going to be using for this is the We Are Memory Keepers all-in-one board that does everything. I figured that might be, well, that's the way I thought we might be able to go ahead with this. But I think also you could make it work with other stuff that you have. So I'm like, all right, let's line this up. Let's just use one. All right. I'm going to make a line here and a line here. And let's see what these are. So this is 6 1/8, apparently. Okay, well, we'll go 6 1/8. Sounds good. Just making sure that it's there. All right, 6 1/8 by 4 5/8. All right. Let's score this at the right spot. Let's make sure I've got this straight. Me and straight doesn't always work because I'm a little bit bent. I'm sure I am. My eyesight, sometimes I question it. Alright. I'm going to score it there. So that's scoring at, let's have a look what it would be. 2 3/4. Around about there. Now I'm going to bring it over to where there's a score line. That probably will work better for me. Alright. So we've got that. So we've got that shape now, which seems, oh yeah, that seems about right. Okay, we're looking promising. Okay, let's do the next part. So on this, it does come with a tab punch, but the tab punch, I will show you. Will this use for this? Ooh, it will. Okay, the tab punch on this if it decides to work. Okay. It's just not wanting to work very well. Again, on video, it does this. Maybe if I do it in a little bit, we'll see it a little bit better. There we go. So it does this straight curve like that, okay? And that's not the same as these folders here. So you can see the difference there. One's more of an angle and that one's that. But what I did discover is we've got the little mini envelope punch. So what I'm going to do is on the envelope punch, you've got this gap here that you can see. I'm going to line the edge up with this right part of the gap. Okay. There. And we've kind of got that corner bit now. Now it's not exactly the same, but it's pretty close. Now I'm just going to round this a little bit. I'll just take this off a little bit like that. Okay, how wide is it about? I'm going to come in here and we'll go for, let's have a look. We're looking at about, I don't know, it doesn't say, but the 3 line on this punch board. I'm going to punch there. So we've got that. And then I can come along and use the cutter, line it up. And slice it off. And we've got the little tab file component of it. Then it also has the corners on all of the edges. So to do that, I'm going to come back to the envelope punch board and I'm going to put it in halfway now, so kind of where the halfway mark is, and pump it through, right through the halfway, so right in the middle of that gap. So if we look at that, I'm going right in the middle of that little gap. I'm trying to. Like that. And like that. And then we've got our little file folder. And now the good thing of this is that it actually then allows us to, what's the word? We can put the tab wherever we want it to be. So with the die, it's over only on the side, but if you wanted one in the middle, you could put one in the middle, all of that kind of stuff. I don't think I put this straight, of course, which sounds about right, so I'm just going to kind of straighten it up a little bit. Like that. And we've got it there. So we've got a file folder thingamajiggy. So that's one. We worked that out. Let's see if we can work out the specimen slide. So first thing I'm going to, pencil. First thing I'm going to do is work out the size of it again. So I'm going to go for, alright, I'm going to get one of the cardboard ones out because that's too difficult to see. Alright. We've got here, and here, and here. Okay. So let's cut this up. One. And of course I forgot to get the side measurement. Sounds about right. 2. Made it crooked. That's not straight. Hold on. Oh. Oh. Oh my gosh. This is why I don't like this cutter for actual cutting. I rarely use it to cut things. Okay. We got that. Now let's see. Where did I put it? There. So we've got it there. Alright. I'm going to go for there. Alright. I'm just going to fold it in the middle because knowing me, I haven't measured it properly. And it's not straight. So let's straighten it up. There we go. Okay, so we've got that. So that's our little slide base. But now we need to put in the bits. Okay? So the first thing I'm thinking is we can corner round all the corners. I've got a really tiny corner rounder. So I'm just going to go in with that, all four corners. Okay, we have a little notch. So let's try for not putting it all the way in the envelope punch, just maybe halfway in, and see how we go with that. I'm going to try. There we go, one. Lining it up again on the other side. Two. Alright, so we've got little notches. Okay, good, good. Now we're going to go for little holes in the corner, but before that, I think I'm going to use a square punch. Now you don't need a square punch, but you could use a square die. Oh, I've even got a rectangle. Let's see whether that rectangle's too big. Let's have a look. Okay, that looks promising. Might be a bit thin on the sides, but we'll give it a go. Let's see if I've got it centered. Alright, that worked alright. Now I'm going to line it up. I just want a bit of a bigger rectangle. So I'm just going to line up the sides. And keep cutting until I think it kind of looks right. Maybe a little bit more. Alright, I think that'll do. So I think we've managed to make it pretty good. It's not exactly the same, but in a pinch, it's allowed us to use a tool we might already have. Oh, now my punches aren't going to get back into the drawer. I swear I don't know why I film, because it just goes to poo every time I do. Oh look, I rhymed. So we've made something similar. Now if we wanted to put the holes in, we could be fancy and come along with the 1/8 maybe. And so I think this one's a little bit too big, but we probably do the trick. I don't know if I'm game to use it down here. I think it might be, the rectangle's probably just a little bit too big. Yeah, but you get the gist. You could just poke a hole in it with the awl as well. But I was like, I wanted to come up with an idea that could work. And I think I found it. But I'm not going to use them. I am going to use the ones that I've die cut. Because I have the die cut, I'm going to use it, and we'll go from there. Okay, so let's put all of the tooly bits away for now. because otherwise I'm going to get flustered even more than I already am. And, oh, there you go. It's called The Works, all-in-one tool. That's what this tool's called, in case you're wondering. I did try it with the regular envelope punch board, so I already also have the envelope punch board. But this is bigger. So you could do the same thing with file, but it'd just be a bigger tab, which would probably be good if you're making a large file folder instead of a smaller one. Okay, now what are my plans for this? We've got collect, recorded, filed. So I've used the little cutouts that come with it just to do that. And what I'm going to do is, my plan is to make a little accordion pocket of file folders here so that we can open them up and store ephemera in there. But before we can do that, I need to work out the base size and what I'm going to put on the base. And I think I'm going to put, let's have a look. I've got some of these on card. I'm like, you won't see much of it, obviously. It's going to get hidden. So I'm thinking I might go with this one. Alright, so I'm going to just wait up. No, I don't think that's actually going to work. It's too short. I'm sure I printed one out borderless. Maybe I be dreaming? Do I be dreaming? I did print one out borderless, but it's on paper. Okay. Alright. This one should work. Okay, I'm just going to quickly cut off the edges. So how's everyone doing? I hope you are all doing okay. I hope you can still hear me. I'm kind of away while I'm doing this because my trimmer is on a side table. I've got the big Fiskars rotary blade trimmer, and it's too cumbersome to move back and forth. Okay. So we've got this. Let's see now about how wide this needs to be. So I don't want it to interfere with the zipper. So probably go to there, and there's my pencil. To there. Okay. Alrighty, so let's have a look at that. Ionic details, very good. So that will fit in there. So that's going to be the base that we're going to build on. I'm just going to kind of identify where these flaps come down to, just so I know as I'm building it what I need to stay within. And we've got that. So first thing I'm going to do is ink this up. I like walnut stain, but use whatever one you want. Vintage photo would work nice too. I just like grungy, and I find walnut stains just just more grunginess. So on that, I'm gonna just bring it a little bit more. Alright, so we've got that. Now we're going to start thinking about this. And I want it to sit in here. And this will sit within as well. So we can kind of work with that as our guidelines, hopefully. Alrighty-o. Okay. What am I doing? Do you know? I don't. Going to make this accordion file. I've got that. I've got a bunch of pieces made out of the manila card that hopefully fit within this, and they do. Very good. So they're 2 inches wide, and I'm going to go through and score at every 1/2 inch. 1, 2, miss a few 99, 100. I'll come back when I've done the others. There is 6 of them. Okay, so I've scored them all, and now I want to burnish them, well, fold them up. So I'm going to valley fold in the middle and mountain fold on the outside so that it ends up looking like an M or a W, depending on which way you want to look at it. Let's get my bone folder. Fold them in. So remembering in the middle and out on the 2 sides. In the middle and out on the 2 sides. So these are going to become our accordion hinges. Alright. Going to come along and quickly just miter these a little bit, and we're mitering it from the peak here of the W, or the valley of the M. Okay, that's going to be inside, and the 2 ridges are going to be facing outside. So we want to miter that way so that it is these peaks that are the longest. But again, those peaks I did just sweep the floor, and then I come along and I miter corners. I don't know. Yeah, come along. Alright. I got that. Get rid of all of these bits if I can, or some of them at least, so they don't all end up on the floor. Okay. Now what we want to do is, when we put this down, we are looking for the valley here in the middle to be facing inwards. Okay? And that the 2 peaks, or the 2 ridges, mountains, whatever you want to call them, are along the edge. And this is going to make our accordion hinge. So I'm just going to come along, bit of glue, probably a bit much. And there we go. So there's 1. There's 2. We've then got collect going on top. Oh no, I put him in the wrong spot. Shh, don't tell anyone. I meant to open it up. Luckily, this is going to get glued, so this doesn't really matter. Okay. Why didn't you tell me? Go, Tammy, you're doing the wrong thing. Alright. I'm going to go in again. I'm going to go inside the file folder now. Along the edge. I'm sitting there going, something's not right. I know, I'm trying to figure this out in my head, what I'm doing. You come up with these idiot ideas at, like, 3 in the morning. You're like, okay, I'm going to try and figure that out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Alright. Holding that down. And there we go. Now collect is just going to go straight on top. You could make it a slip pocket actually. Might do that. Just a hidden pocket in case you want a little bit more. I'm just going to go around the 3 edges. I'm going to try and line this up. Okay, there we go. So we've got collect. Let's go again. And this way. And this way. I just had one of the, those geek moments. I'm finally watching the Walker series with Jared Paldecki. And I sitting there watching it, and all I think about is Sam Winchester. And then at one point, the captain turns around and goes, he managed, what did he say? Something along the lines, she managed to get you, the moose, into the boot of the car or whatever, but basically called him a moose. And so then I geeked out because of Supernatural, and I'm like, I love when they put those little red herrings in. It is so cool. Alright, I'm going to run along here, along the bottom. Oh well. Collect. I'd put him in the wrong order. Shh. Whatever works. Okay. So we've got these little ones, and then the last one we've got is this. But I don't want to glue that down just yet because I want to add some cover to it. And I reckon this one might do the trick. Or yeah, hold on. I'm thinking to myself. So just trimming off the edges. Yeah, so I come out with like, oh my gosh, he called Sammy a moose. And then I got upset because I love Crowley. I've got did a pastel drawing of a cassowary, which is awesome. Like how the photographer got the shot is phenomenal, and I got permission from the photographer to draw it. And it is this beautiful shot of the cassowary looking right down the lens of the camera, and cassowaries are basically living dinosaurs, and they can kill you with one little hook from their claws. They're like a raptor bird, and it was just awesome to have that shot. And when I drew it, I was like, I like to name my animals. The frogs, everything around here all have names, and I'm like, well, what am I going to call him? So I called him Fergus. Because cassowaries are pretty tame unless you mess with their family. And then they're territorial. So I called him Fergus. I want to put the little notches into this. So I'm going to... I give up. I promise I am a klutz 99% of the time, but not normally as bad as I appear on camera. Okay, we got one there. We got one there. Alright. Yeah, I'm going to ink this up. Okay. Bring this back over. And got a feeling I need to just add this, trim it just a little bit. I'm going to glue this on. There we go. Done. So we've got that. Now I'm going to add the last little hinge. I just didn't want it moving around on me. I don't know. Sounds good. So if you're new here, leave some questions down below of anything you'd like to know about me or what I do or anything like that, as long as it's not too personal, obviously. And I'll try and answer it, or any questions you have about different things. If you want to know about my complete klutziness, anything you'd like to see me do. I've got a 100-day project ahead, so if there's any things that you'd like me to show you, please give me some ideas. That would be brilliant. Okay. So we've got that. Now I'm thinking we just need to get some of the ephemera bits out, cutouts, and see if we can decorate it a little bit. Where's my dudes? Alright, I've fussy cut out all the dudes. I wonder if there's... you could work. You could work. Obviously we're going to have to cut their legs off. That happens. Now if we do that, and he could be sitting on something. maybe ticket. Alright, we'd have to cut that down a little bit too. What else do we have here? Just trying to think of what we could use. I like the idea of adding a bit of red. No, we just trim a little bit of this off. And we add it here. Then he will sit on that nicely. Okay, cool. Okay. Right. Alright. Okay, now let's cut his legs off. Oh no, I feel bad. There it goes. Legs are gone. Okay. His tail coat. Alright. So, that is that so far. I think I can throw his feet away. I don't think there's going to be any emergency limb reconstruction happening in the Victorian era. Okay, so we've got that. And now that will go along there. I want to ink, I think I do want to ink around. I wasn't sure whether I was going to, but I do. I'm going to ink around the edges of all of this because they're too clean. So if you want to ink, probably do it beforehand, but you know, after works too. I've got a stick here from somewhere. I've got to figure out what's stuck where they shouldn't have. There it is. Okay. Okay, so I've got that one. That's going to go there. Now we need to think about these specimen slides and how we're going to attach them. I have used the die cut to also cut out 4 pieces of overhead transparency, so acetate. However you can get your hands on it. I tend to use OHTs. Found a box of 100 really cheap at the op shop and it's perfect. And I'll just run some glue around the edge. You can use double-sided tape with this too if your glue is not good at sticking down acetate. However, art glitter glue is pretty good at holding everything, so just gonna add that. orchard ink around these too before I did it. Oh, honestly. Okay. Alright, let's try again. Okay. So we've got that there, and now we've got a little acetate front to the slide. I'm going to do the other three, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I'm back. I've made all of these slides, and now going to close them up. And I've made some little tags that hopefully will slide in like so when we're finished. They are, I don't know, 2 by 1 3/4 or whatever they're going to be. But I want them coming in from the side, so I'm just going to, I'm not worried about doing the back either. I'm just going to come in and, just like a slide would, come in from the top, and then you can slide it in from the side. So just a thin bead across the top of all of these. Alright. Last one. There we go. Okay, now we need to put them in place, and I want them like a waterfall style. So the first one I'm going to do, I've cut a couple of, well, 4 1-inch hinges, and I've scored it as in a half, and I've made it 1 3/4 because they're going to fit in nicely without interfering with the corners of these slides. So I'm going to just quickly attach these guys to the bases of the slides. So we've got 1. Oh, if I could, you know, use my fingers, that would be good. 2. 3. And 4. Now I've got that mark from earlier on, and I'm going to place the first one kind of just in from that mark, and I've drawn a line there to try and help me kind of position it and keep it straight. And I'm just going to glue this one down because that's going to help me with the rest of what I've got in mind. So we've got that one there. So we've got that. Okay, now I've got where these line up, and I've been drawing some lines. I'm just going to rub them out with my eraser. I'm going to put this in the glue while I do that. Alright, and I want, so this lines up there. So I'm just going to draw a line. So basically just inside of that line there, and then one coming up from this side as well, and then every 1/2 inch in. So 1, 2, and we'll need 3. I'm just going to draw a line on there. That one, and that one. Okay, now I'm just going to come in with a cutting blade and cut along those lines that we've made. 1, 2, and 3. Put the lid on the cutting knife before I cut myself, and then I'm going to rub these out. Okay. Now, hopefully, if I did good, if these should tuck into here, into these slits, which I might need to make a bit bigger. Yeah, just a slight bit bigger. Neck. Just to give us enough room to get it all the way, them all the way in. Okay. Let's try again. Put that one in. We want to make sure it's lined up with this one. Nice and straight. Turn it over. Pull it down. Next one. Down, and then last one, pulling it down. So they're in there now. And then I also cut from the pattern. I showed you these guys before. I'm just going to quickly round the corner of these guys. Like this. I'm going to ink up the edges inside. 1, 2, 3, now I'm just going to flick it over and just distress the back, just so it looks a little bit more grungy, but this offers a little bit of journaling space. It's getting warm. It's the middle of the day at the moment here, and it's quite muggy today. Alright, so I've got them, and then I also cut out, using the die cuts, some tabs. So I only need 4. I want to inkify these guys too. That's the word. I want to inkify these tabs. One. 2. 3. No, nearly 3. Now it's 3. 3. 4. Probably should have checked that these tabs actually fit, hey? Yes, they do. Good, good. Okay. Looking at no idea where that one goes. Maybe there? No? I don't know. No, that was the edge there, so it must be over here somewhere like that. No, in the middle. Nah, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Like that. Doesn't really matter, no. But, yeah, no. Alright. I'm going to add some glue to these tabs. And add it to the side. 1. 2. 3. And the last one. 4. Okay, so they can go in. One. Fiddly little suckers. A little bit of a Pretty Woman reference there. 3. And 4. Alright, so we've got that. Now I made some little labels with the kit as well. Just going to get them out. But you could do anything you wanted here. Alright. One. 2. Hopefully this won't be too much longer. Try and keep it under an hour. We'll see how we go. 4. Do you prefer long or short videos? Me, I actually prefer the longer videos because I like to have them playing and I do stuff at the same time and watch, hop up and look and all of that kind of stuff. And then we've got 4. Okay. So now we're going to have a look at putting it into here. It's going to go in to there. Got that can help hold it down. Alright, so I'm going to glue this in. Go. Glue down, and then we can glue this one down too. And the question is do we want to have another hidden pocket in there, or do we have enough? I kind of think it's going to be holding a lot of weight, so I think just for safety's sake, we might glue the whole thing down. This. Just make sure it's right on the edges. Not interfering with that, not interfering with that. There we go. So we've got that side now that we can use to fill with different things, and we will at some point come back and fill that with ephemera. And if we take this guy now, it will serve to look at that, got a minute to go. So if you haven't already and you're enjoying this, please hit the subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated, and leave a comment. Let me know what kind of length videos you like. But I think that's it. So it's all kind of in place now and we're getting there. So next one we'll work on this side, and I'm probably going to use some envelopes for that. And we're slowly getting there with how our wallet is coming together. Thank you very much for being watching, and as always, remember, be kind, be strong, be aware, and I'll see you later. Bye.